Hey, I just love that song. Hey everybody, Ronald Rusty here, Artists on Lockdown, Hangin' Bangin', episode number 62 with my good buddies and brothers, Carmine and Peace, Vinny Appice. And I am just so excited to see you guys again. We took kind of a week off. We had a special edition last week. But this edition, very, very big show. As always, Paul Shortino, rock and roll legendary voice and a legend in her own right, manager, wife of Wendy James Dio. Wendy Dio with us tonight. But first, let me bring to the microphone a guy that I hate to admit that I truly missed. Vinny Appice from Dio, Black Sabbath. Vinny, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, but I lost like a paisley blue sports jacket. It was in
I thought you were saying like
closet.
paisley blue like shorts or boxer shorts or something.
Well, I had matching shorts. That kind of looks like my jacket, dude.
You know what? If I thought it would fit you, I'd give it to you, man. But I gotta say, and I hate doing this. You know, I hate two things. I hate like being like warm to you, and hate giving you compliments. But
Hey,
I gotta say, I sincerely missed you. Honest to God, I sincerely missed you.
I knew it. I knew you would. And I'm coming. Hi, Heidi. I'm coming to visit you very soon. We're playing there on the 2nd of October.
Last in line. I am so
Last in
excited,
line.
man. I tell you,
We added a horn
truly...
section too.
Did you really?
No.
Okay. Anyway, let's. I fall for it every time. Let's bring our big brother, Carmine Appice. You know him from Vanilla Fudge, of course, and so many other things. But I had to call him today and let him know. Did we lose Carmine? Where is he? Because, you know, we're having some struggles out here. Hey, Carmine!
Yeah, hey man, how you doing?
Man.
Well, I'm glad Vinny's playing there because I was playing there.
Why, you're not
Well,
playing there?
I don't
Well,
know.
we're-
Well, having a bit of problem with the COVID in the other theater, so
Yeah.
we don't know. Well, hopefully we will.
So who knows? We're gonna have to move to 2 shows. I'm telling you, three acts today alone called to cancel. It's not even, you know, it's not even like the cities, and it's the acts themselves that are actually.
We
canceled.
just did 4 shows 10 days ago.
But you know what it is? You know what I'm finding? I don't know if you heard this or not, but you know what one of the biggest problems is? So the vaccine is almost becoming like an abortion issue. You're really like totally for it or totally against it, you know? And what's happening, a lot of these acts are canceling because they've got infighting. You know, you got like half the band will get vaccinated, half the band won't, so they won't tour together, so they cancel the whole tour. I've had that 3 times today, just today, canceled.
Nah, we're going
So-
full swing. We're all vaccinated. We did VIP safely. Everybody's
Are you
cool.
doing
We
meet
had
and
no
greets
problem.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
Shit,
That's
yeah.
great.
and we're going out in 19 days, 18 days. We start a 4-city run.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of VIPs sold, and you know we learned when we did this thing in Nashville, how to be a little safe. You know, stay behind the table. You know, be like 3 or 4 feet. away from
Actually,
everybody.
we're going out. We have complete plastic bodysuits. So
And you never look better.
nothing gets in there.
And they're gonna be made of your paisley.
And more
jacket.
importantly, nothing's going to get out because where you guys have been.
Yeah, I was overheating, but it was okay. I just put up with it. We actually did our VIP pictures outside.
Oh, makes sense.
We signed stuff. They were away, and then we said, "Okay, take pictures." We went outside. They made a line. They stood in front of us like Carmine and I did, and
Yeah.
we stayed in the back. So nobody's breathing on
Nobody's
anybody.
breathing on anybody. Yeah.
It works.
Okay, well,
It's
that
cool.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But there are people, you know, we just had Dice here and absolutely nobody. We had Asia, absolutely nobody. We had John Anderson of Yes, absolutely nobody. They're just getting in, doing as little as possible. Like all the sound check real quick and back out. I mean, there's no,
Well, that's no
freaking weird,
fun.
man.
It's rock and roll.
Yeah.
I know.
Come on.
I'm with you.
Yeah. I know
we don't-
you're right there. So
I'm right
I
there,
hope
man.
we end up doing it.
Me too, because I gotta
I
say,
mean, we'll end up doing it at some point. Now, we're supposed to come back with Cactus in November.
Why, somebody
Understand.
somebody has COVID?
No, it's the other city of the other venue. There's a problem.
Yeah,
with
my
the
other
city.
one, we're not sure if we're gonna open that up yet. So if I gotta hold on that, I had 2 shows of Vanilla Fudge and Robbie Krieger, the Doors, together. So if we don't do the one, we may just move both. This is all happening. I'm telling you, it's when I was shut down, I had to move 116 shows, but not just once, 6 times, 6 times. Because remember when we went down in March, it was like, well, you know what? Let's move the shows. Let's move to end of April, beginning of May. We'll be fine. Then July. Then it just kept on going. Now that we were back on, everything was fine. Now I know. Now we're who knows what's happening? But here's the thing.
Forget it. Let's have some fun. The hell
wanna
with
have
that
some
shit.
Yeah,
listen,
let's have some fun. Let's
Come on, Ron.
bring on Wendy and Paul.
This
Come
is
on.
a big Dio
Bring
show.
on Wendy and Paul.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's bring Wendy and Paul. Let's bring them both on. There's Wendy and there's
Wendy.
Paul Shortino.
Hi.
Hey, how you
Wendy.
doing? I'm just concerned who's singing the song that I had sung before. Is that James?
Oh, that's Jimmy Queen. That's Jim Queen.
Oh, that's nice to know.
We did a live version of that, a tribute to Ronnie on, was it Ronnie's birthday? then?
Hey, Paul, we erased you.
I know, it sounds like it.
It's a lip sync.
Oh,
Yeah, I was going,
Paul
that
wrote
doesn't sound
the
like
song.
me. Who is that?
we wrote that song. Paul wrote the lyrics to that song, and I remember the day we did it because we were going to write it about Halloween. You remember Monsters and Heroes?
Yeah,
and then Paul
absolutely.
said, I want to write this about Ronnie, So,
And actually took some of Ronnie's great lines and intertwined them with the storyline. So basically, it's some of the songs that actually Benny recorded with Ronnie. There's some lines in there that that were it was totally a tribute to Ronnie.
Yeah, this is a total knit family here. I know Wendy's
You can see
1970, 1943, I think it was, wasn't it?
43.
Only kidding, Wendy. I'm only kidding.
Thanks a lot.
No, I know Wendy from when she first came to LA. So does Paul.
Hey, Carmine, she's
What?
not talking to you now.
Yeah.
Wait, but I got a very, very important question because I love the book. I want to talk about Rainbow in the Dark. It's some great stuff. But the most important question, one of the most important questions, is the fact that you were kind of not really into Ronnie at the beginning, or maybe didn't see a future because he was shorter than you. And I have to find out about this because I'm a little bit what's the word, vertically challenged. So I'm very interested in your answer here. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Richie Blackmore introduced me to Ronnie, and I said, you're a bit short for me. I don't know about that. But, I talked to him, and I think I fell in love with his brain because he was funny, he had great humor, and he was just, you could talk to him about any subject whatsoever. He's very, very intelligent. And this is
So you're saying I've got a chance?
Maybe.
No.
Well, I tell you what, the autobiography is incredible, which is it's just interesting to say autobiography because he did do it. He started it very, very early. How did that come to be? Did he just sit down?
Ron, before we go, let's tell everybody what we're talking about.
Well, it's called Rainbow in the Dark.
Yeah, I happen to have my
autobiography.
copy right here.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and
it's something that not only, it is an autobiography, even though it just came out relatively kind of recently, but he did actually write it, started to write it. When did he start to write it? And what made him actually, because rock and rollers not known to be the kind of, okay, I'm going to sit down and write stuff down. They're not known for that. But he did. How did that all come to be?
I think he just started scribbling stuff down, and he'd write a chapter here and a chapter there, and then bring it was all handwritten, and he'd bring it into the office, and my secretary would type it up, and then he'd go on tour, and then he'd write a bit more, and it was nothing really that he wanted to write a book, but it wasn't something like, okay, I'm going to do this now. Because Ronnie, anyone who knew Ronnie, whatever he was doing, that was it. He stopped. So he would do it when he was off the road. And I actually had a publishing deal for him while he was still alive. And then, of course, when he passed away, I just shoved it away. But when he was sick, he started, because he wrote the book up until almost the end of Rainbow. And then when he was sick, he would scribble little notes and different things and put stuff on his computer about what he wanted to say and with different things and stuff. And then, of course, when he passed away, I didn't put it out. And then years went by, and I kept saying I was going to put it out. And then Mick Wall from UK, who was a good friend of ours and has written many, many books, and he said, well, you got to get this book out, Wendy. And I go, well, I need some help. So he was obviously the person to help. And I said, I want it to be still in Ronnie's own words. So what we did was we took a bunch of the scribbles that he'd left, and then we went back into the archives and found interviews that Ronnie had done at different times of the place. And it always was going to be starting ending in 1986, because that's what he wanted to do. And that was what he wrote in the beginning, that, he was at Madison Square Gardens, and he asked, a journalist asked him how'd you get started? He was going to give the usual answer. And they thought, how did I get started? And that's what made him think about writing a book. But he always wanted it to end in 1986, because the last was where they say, oh, you're going back on stage. I can't answer that. I have to go and work. And that was the end of it. So I don't know if he intended to write another book after that, or whether he just intended to finish it in 1986. But that's what happened.
And at that garden show, probably Vinny was playing with him, right?
Vinny was playing with him.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, we
Go
only
ahead, Paul.
played Long Island. Rough Cut warmed up for Dio and on Long Island.
Yeah.
Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah.
Now,
we
Paul,
had
go ahead.
we had
Wendy,
an offer. We had an offer for Meadowlands for twice as much money, but Ronnie always wanted to play at Madison Square Garden. He played there with Sabbath before, but he wanted his own name up there in Madison Square Gardens, and so. Because he'd always walked from, when he was trying to get a demo deal, he'd drive down from Cortland, upstate New York, to New York City, and this is before Rainbow, before anything, and before Elf even, and try to get a demo deal. And he'd always look up at Madison Square Garden and go, one day I want my name up there. Well, the night that he did have his name up there, we got there, and this is obviously before cell phones, and he said, Wen, let's take a picture. And I said, oh, I forgot the camera. So we never ever got a photo of his name at Madison Square Garden.
Well, he was well deserved.
Well, even I did that when we played with Rod. There was a billboard on Broadway, a giant billboard which says New York Welcomens, Carmine, Rod, all these names. And I had my parents, and my parents. We had my parents in the limo, and we took a picture of it. We did have the camera. We had a picture. And my mother and father were so proud, that there it was on Broadway, Awesome.
Something.
That's great. Yeah, I read that part of the book. It's awesome. I learned some stuff about the book I didn't know.
You know what? You need to tell the story about your mom when she went into the record store and she said her son plays in a famous band, and they believed her, and then she went in and said another famous band and they didn't believe it. Tell the story.
Right. I don't know that one. Vinny knows that one.
You know that one?
I don't remember that.
Your mom told me that she went into the record store and she said, "Oh yeah, my son plays in that band, Vanilla Fudge," and they were all excited about it. And then she went in there and said, "Oh, my son plays in that band, Black Sabbath." And they went, "Yeah, right."
and then she'd go into record stores and move the albums to the front.
Yeah. Oh, we all do that.
yeah.
You look around, make sure
Typical Italian mom.
and you move the album to the front.
That's an Italian mom right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Always looking out for their boys.
Yeah. Paul, you mentioned opening for Dio at the time. I mean, was that a time that you had known Ronnie before, or was that one of your first experiences?
Actually, Ronnie took Rough Cut into the studio. Actually, Benny, I think, came out to a bar that I was playing out in Torrance, and Ronnie showed up, and they were checking us out, and we went in the studio and did some demos, and through Wendy as well, because I was sharing with you earlier that I had met Wendy long before I had a chance to meet Ronnie. Was a big fan of Ronnie's, and actually used to do "Kill the King" from Rainbow in a cover band, and I was playing in a cover band, and Wendy was looking to manage an up and coming band, and she was already dealing with Ronnie, and Ronnie, and I think it was Vinny, showed up at this dump that I was playing at, and next thing I know, that Ronnie came to a rehearsal, and I guess it was Dave Alford had bothered Ronnie all his life.
Yeah, man.
Dave is the drummer, so
and of Rough Cut. And anyways, he told David that if you ever found a good singer, give me a shout. So I guess Ronnie was interested in doing some stuff with us, and when he got interested in putting the band together, and we went in the studio, and I'd actually met Wendy probably when she was just a youngin', or as well, was married to a good friend of mine who was in a band called Mama Lion, and they had went to Britain, and when they were having a Halloween party in Highland Park, and I showed up, and it was the first time I met Wendy, and so I was in this contract with these guys. One of the guys was a director for the Charlie's Angels. His dad also was the first director to take a Route 66 on the road. And so I was in this contract where they owned everything, including anything that I owned. And Wendy and Ronnie were getting me out of this mess with Stan Diamond. And we were sitting at the Imperial Palace, a Chinese restaurant on Ventura Boulevard. And it dawned on me that I had met Wendy a long time ago, and during our lunch break there. And they got me out of that mess. And because I was always so eager to sign. Boom, boom, boom. My first record.
Don't read it.
That time.
Yeah. I never read anything. The first
Ron
record
has a paper for you to sign.
Yeah. The first record actually I did, I was 17, and Snuff Garrett, who did Liza Minnelli, Sonny and Cher, and people like that. I was signed to Bell Records, and of course Vicki Lawrence came out with "That's the Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia," and that was the night the lights went out with Paul Shortino's record on Billboard, 22 with a bullet. But yeah, somebody just recently sent me the demo. I didn't even have it. I did an interview, and they sent me.
Your record was knocked out by "That's the Night That the Lights Went Out in Georgia"?
Yep, absolutely.
I don't know how I would feel about that. Like, if it was knocked out by a Zeppelin.
I know.
You know? But Vicki Lawrence, I don't know.
Vicki Lawrence.
How do you come back from that?
Exactly.
She's really good. Come on.
Oh, come on.
I love her. I've had her here.
Yeah.
She was here as, what is that, Grandma? What does she play?
Well, she had a show called Mama's Show or something like that.
Of course you had her there.
Of course
but it was really interesting. I was doing an interview with a guy, and he says, "I got the 45. I says, "You're kidding." He says, "If you send me something, I'll send it to you." And then I got the 45. I have a record player. Then I had to go get a record player, and I did another interview, and the guy says, "I got an MP3. I said, "I haven't heard that song since I think I was 17 years old."
Hey, Paul, that dump you played, I got my name up on the marquee. There it is. Look at that.
That's the dump. That's
650 people.
That's funny.
Wendy,
Yeah, so I actually wish Ronnie would have produced some of the Rough Cut stuff. He did some of the earlier stuff that was released on The Greatest, but I think Wendy, she kind of, actually, when I go in the studio, I started, at that point in my life, I started sounding like Ronnie. So she thought maybe get somebody else, a different producer to get in there. And I'm still kind of finding myself playing in a cover band. You know, you start trying to sound like everybody whose songs out on the charts. And so, you know, going in the studio. We went into my folk studio and did some stuff. And I'm so grateful for meeting Ronnie and Wendy in my life. It changed everything. I got to meet people like Carmine Benny, Glenn Hughes. I mean, people, David Coverdale, people that I saw from the other side of the stage, being a fan, and here I was,
like all of us.
here I was living with these folks, I mean, living the life with these folks, which was really amazing. I was able to watch them put the whole Holy Diver thing together.
Wow.
Which was a trip.
Well, we all know that Ronnie, he's got this persona of major rock and roller, but at the end of the day, he really wasn't the sex, drugs, and rock and roll kind of guy. A homebody, very focused. And Wendy he was always writing. Obviously, he was writing his autobiography at the time as well. But is there very much unrecorded or material around? Does he have a lot of? Did he write a lot of songs he didn't finish? Is there some of that material that's still hanging out there?
We've just actually going through the vault right now with Wynne Davis, which is a engineer of ours that he used many times. He's a great friend, and right now he's going through a lot of the stuff, and we found a few pieces of material. I know that before he passed away, he was writing something with Craig Goldie and also with Doug Aldridge. And I think there's some demo stuff, and there's a whole bunch of Akai stuff that he would always demo in his own studio before he'd go into the real studio. Right. There's a lot of that stuff. So, but we have to go through it and listen to it properly. And I'm using Wynne Davis as his ears, because my ears, I need to have something. If it's going to go out, it has to be something that Ronnie would approve of, because I don't want to put something out that he wouldn't have approved of. And so, I know what I like, but I would rather have some professional like Wynne Davis listen to it before it goes out.
Makes a lot of sense.
There was that song Electra. Did you find that?
No, that's been out actually. We have
that came out.
That came out on a bonus. Yeah, we've got a few of those, because we've got Rhino is re-releasing all the 6 albums that they have next year, with bonus tracks and different things. And we're finding some live stuff for different, I think it's Seattle and different places that they played, and also what else is there that we can put on there and do a nice box set as well.
All right.
That'll be exciting.
With the box set, you can include the book.
You could indeed. And now we've got documentary.
An audio book.
Yeah, I have audio book is out. It is audio book is out actually.
Going back to the book. What would you say? And there's a couple things in there, but what would you say is the most controversial element of the book or passage of the book?
There's a lot of controversial stuff in there, actually.
Richie Blackmore's wife running over his guitars.
Oh, Babs.
Wow.
That's probably, yes.
I remember him telling us that story. You both telling us that story.
Oh yeah.
Tell us all that story.
Yeah, that was a really good story, actually. I think she took all his guitars, his gold records out.
Yeah, what was she pissed off at him about? I forgot. I
don't remember what
I
it was
don't know,
about,
but she threw it. I remember that she threw it all because they all used to go to the Rainbow. We all went to the Rainbow all the time, and I remember hearing about it at the Rainbow that she threw all the guitars out and ran them over.
She didn't only do that. Another time she lined up all his gold records, his guitars, and then put his car. And his car went straight over everything and right through the gate as well. It smashed all his car up without opening the electric gate. So she, you didn't want to mess with her. She was.
I think that was the story that you guys told me, shared with me.
Yeah,
she was a big German woman. She was really big.
She was a feisty German. She was very pretty, very pretty. Buxom is the word.
She's like the girl in Rocky with the one that's real tall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Britt Eklund, or what was her
Bridget
name?
Nielsen.
Her name is.
Yeah.
Bridget Nielsen. That's something.
That's a good comparison.
Yep. I want to ask Paul and Wendy both. 1985, We Are the World is coming out around that time. Everyone's getting into that. So you guys come out with this hearing aid project. 40 or so musicians all singing on it. Really amazing lineup. How did it come about? Tell me about the day of recording. Who was cool? Who wasn't cool? That kind of. I know Paul and obviously Wendy, you're deep involved with it.
Well, Wendy, actually, I'll let her start with this story, and then I'll jump in here. And
sure.
Well, actually, it was Vivian and Jimmy that got it together because We Are the World was out, and I think Ronnie had wanted to get involved in that, but with Dirty Nasty.
Is it Vivino?
Huh?
Jimmy who?
Jimmy
Bain.
Jimmy Bain.
He's
the bass player at Dio.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
but before that, I think Ronnie had wanted to get involved in We Are the World, and then we were really dirty, nasty, heavy metal people that they didn't want to deal with. And then I think it was Vivian and Jimmy got involved somehow, and then they started putting some music down. And then Ronnie took over from that, and then decided we had a whole board. There was like 14 people on the board, and Ken Cragen was on the board, and a whole bunch of people.
It was an actual organization you had to create.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we put it together, and Paul can tell you he was there, but nobody's ego was there. Everybody was very cool and it was amazing.
It was. It
really
was
the biggest stars there. There were all the rock stars there, but everybody was going crazy.
There was no
Spinal Tap.
Everybody was Spinal Tap. They were there.
They came in. We're all going, oh man, what's a Derek?
Actually,
and, Nigel.
Rough Cut just released an album, so I was like in awe, and hanging out with Neil Sean and Carmine.
Oh, Paul, what was that?
He gets very emotional when he tells the story.
Whenever he says Carmine.
We lost your vocal. Paul, we lost your vocal. We lost your vocal. We lost your mic.
Come back?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so anyways,
that's good.
Actually, the first day that everybody showed up actually to do the background vocals, and they had already been tracking guitars and the rhythm tracks. All the lead vocals were cut at Rumbo Studios, and everything else was tracked at A&M. So we were all hanging out the Holiday Inn upstairs and waiting for limos to take us to A&M Records. And the first thing happens is Jimmy hands me a Jim Beam and a Coke. And I'm nervous as hell. And if you look at the picture, I now think I'm in the group shot because I think I was in the bathroom, because every time I turn around, Jimmy was handing me a drink because I was so nervous about being around all of these great rock stars. And here I'm nobody, and was very gracious and humble to even be a part of being one of the main vocalists. And we all kind of had to sing the whole song. So, and same with guitar players had to play, all the way through it. And the genius part about it was Ronnie taking the best of everybody's performance and putting it together. And it was quite an experience. I'll never forget it. And I'm so grateful that I was a part of it.
I remember I was on the road with King Cobra, and I flew in on 2 days off just to be part of that. And I was blown away, because I knew everybody. And I met the Spinal Tap guys too, and that was pretty cool.
The backing track was done at Sound City, and it was Ronnie sing, me and Frankie Benelli playing at the same time, which was back then.
Cool.
We recorded both drummers at the same time. It was really cool. So Frankie
technology obviously was so much different then too, man. It's amazing you pulled it off.
Yeah. But that's both of us on that track. And
That I forgot about the Sound City. I know that we did all the backing vocals and guitar solos at A&M.
And then we did some gigs. Weren't there some gigs like at Santa Monica Civic or something?
No, there was one, Irvine Meadows.
Irvine Meadows.
And there was another one somewhere. I'm not quite sure. It's like in...
Kevin DeBro was still alive then when
at
the Irvine Meadows.
It was near the Hollywood Bowl on the other side. What was that place?
Oh, the Greek Theater.
No, it wasn't a Greek. It wasn't no.
Ford Theater or something?
Oh, the Starlight Theater?
I think it was a Starlight Bowl.
Starlight.
I think it was that dumpy place Paul played.
Yes. Hey, I remember Irvine Meadows. I can't remember the guy's name, but I've never said this to anyone else. They were going out. I had joined Quiet Riot then, and we were doing this thing in Irvine Meadows where everybody was involved. And the guy's name was Joel. And I looked at him and I says, "Hey, break a leg." And as soon as he got on stage with the Rough Cut guys, he turned around. He broke his leg, and they brought him out on a gurney. And he looked at me and he says, "I'm suing everybody." And I went, "Dude, I didn't mean for you to really break a leg." So I have never said that thing. I've never said that cliche ever again. Because the dude really broke his leg.
You know, I had Frank Sinatra Jr. at the theater here, and a very reverend who was there by himself, 27 people on an orchestra, ready to walk on, ready to start. I'm walking past him. I said, "Mr. Sinatra, thank you for being here at the Arcada Theater. Break a leg." And he grabs me, and he's like, "What did you say? Break a leg, sir. Have a great night." He goes, What would happen if I would break a leg right now?" He was yelling at me. I'm like, "I thought that's what you say to people. I'm so sorry."
Yeah,
I'll never say that
said
again
it
either.
since. I know the feeling.
Never. We brought up Spinal Tap a little bit, Paul. I mean, you're obviously in the film. And what was that like during the filming? Because those personalities.
Oh, let me tell you, this is a great story because Rough Cut actually hasn't been signed yet, and Wendy puts out, all these pictures. Jake E. Lee was in the band, and they saw an advertisement in one of the local papers, and we were playing the Troubadour. So they came down and they said, "Hey, why don't you and whoever wants to show up at casting call?" And I think we went. It was at either a Denny's or a Norm's on Sherman Way.
Oh yeah, right. You were in Spinal Tap.
Yes, I was. I played Duke Fame.
He's in the movie.
So, anyways, to make a long story endless, I show up in white leather with black boots in my own clothes, and casting goes, "There's Duke Fame." and Jake didn't show up yet. Dave Alford hadn't showed up. Casting, I showed up, talked to him a little bit. Everything was ad-lib. So then the day of the shoot, here I'm sitting with a rock star's wife, Ronnie James Dio's wife, Wendy Dio, and this girl who is in the scene with me, who actually was dating Jackson Browne, and he left her for Daryl Hannah. So here you have two rock ladies talking together, and then I'm looking around and I'm going, I looked at Wendy and I said, "These guys are having a bad hair day." I didn't know they had wigs on, right? So we break for lunch, and I'm sitting next to Rob Reiner, and across from me is Michael McKeon, Christopher Guest, and Harry Shearer. And I think the drummers at that time was Rick Parnell. Right. And so anyways, I'm looking at Rob Reiner, and I'm trying to sell him Rough Cut songs because Wendy's still shopping Rough Cut, trying to get a deal, and Warner Brothers is interested, and a few other labels. And so here he's, no, we've got the material, kid. We've got the material. And I look over at the other guys and I go, you guys look a lot like the guys that are having a bad hair day. And I felt about that big. And then I got to do my scene, which was, about that big. But what was really interesting was when we went out on the road, Wendy got it Rough Cut. As soon as the record came out, we went out with Crocus and Accept. And we didn't even get a line check. And it was in Chicago, of all places, that the road manager for Crocus came up and...
We lost Paul.
Oh, man, left us hanging.
The cliffhanger.
Let's just cliffhanger.
Well, I just want to say one thing about Spinal Tap. I was on the road with King Cobra. And after playing with Ozzy and Rod Stewart and all the arenas and everything, and here we are playing, getting lost, going to the theater, going downstairs, getting lost, going to the stage. I was living Spinal Tap. Spinal Tap. So I didn't like that movie because I was living it. Until I saw Paul. Then I saw Paul. I go, whoa, there's Paul.
it's followed me around forever. But that in Chicago, it was really interesting because we're in the dressing room, which is just nothing, and we wouldn't get a line check because there was 3 bands on the bill. So it was us right up against the monitors, except and then Crocus. So the road manager goes, "Aren't you Duke Fame?" Because they were showing it. They were showing the movie. They had it on the bus. They were showing it at all the Howard Johnsons and Holiday Inns.
Yeah.
So the road manager goes, "You're Duke Fame, aren't you?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm Duke Fame." He says, "Well, the guys in Crocus want to meet you." And so I got backstage. I got to meet Mark Storace and all the guys in the band. And the next thing you know, we get a line check. And we went from Budweiser to Heineken. I couldn't believe it. So there are some pluses to that.
You were able. They allowed you to take it to 11.
Yes, exactly. And I'll tell you what, there were times that we couldn't find our way to the stage, just like that movie.
Yeah,
I tell you, all my life it's been Spinal Tap since that movie.
Yeah, man.
And what a great time it was doing it. I tell you, it really was.
It's one of those things that stays with you, and you're happy about it.
Yeah, I just recently got an 8-cent check in the mail. Actually,
that's 8 times the check that Vinny gets.
Oh, dude, I got 3 of those. I got 14 cents, 8 cents, 9 cents, and 10 cents.
They should just let it all add up so at least the postage can pay for it.
They lose money on that. It's crazy.
You know,
but actually, if it wasn't for Ronnie and Wendy, I who knows, I might still be playing in bars.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's the thing about Wendy. Just love that you're keeping his name, his legacy alive. And I wanted to ask you about the whole management thing, because you were his wife before manager, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I love the statement, if you don't mind me saying, when he was asked, why in the world would you have your wife manage you? And he said, "Do you want me to say it, or do you want to say it?"
He said, "I'd rather get screwed than get screwed by the man." Something like what?
He said, "I'd rather get screwed by my wife than my manager."
Right, exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But really, all kidding aside, I mean that's freaking Ronnie James Dio that you're asked to manage. I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, were you intimidated at all? Were you like, honey, I don't know.
Well,
no, Wendy's not one of those people. As far as from my perspective, she was one of those people. She's an Aries, fire sign. Yeah. She went for it.
I'm a control freak, and so was Ronnie. So yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah,
that doesn't always work. That's supposed to be a yin yang, 2 control freaks together.
No, it was a yang yang.
It was a yin yang.
People used to run and hide when we start arguing.
See?
So I have a question. I was reading the book, and so Rainbow originally was the elf band without the guitar player. And then when did Cozy come in? Because Richie asked me to join Rainbow.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't do it.
Why didn't you, Carmine?
I couldn't do it. I was assigned to MCA with a KGB band. And in those days, when you sign to a label like that, you can't just leave. So I couldn't do it. And I was wondering when that all happened.
Well, he kind of, Richie would kind of get rid of, there was all elf except for him, of course. And so gradually he got rid of, like, the drummer, and then he got rid of, like, the bass player. He got rid of everybody one by one and got more people in. And then got rid of them one by one. So, I mean, it was like, it was just all going through all the time. This one, that one, this one, that one,
Yeah.
And I think he took the band, Ronnie's band Elf, but I think he always decided that he was going to pick his own members after that. So they kind of all went by the wayside.
Now, if I could I don't know if I'm saying something wrong here. So if I need to get spanked, tell me, because I don't know inner stuff. But, have you been and I want to say compared, because you're two of your own people. Sharon Osbourne, kind of along the same lines with Ozzy.
No, she's not like Sharon Osbourne.
This is why I want to know. I want to know the difference.
She's not.
Sharon and I were the only women managers at the time.
Right.
And when we started managing, it was a man's world. And I think we just took it kind of differently. You know, men would tell me, oh, you should do this, you should do that. And I just smile sweetly and do what I wanted to do. I think Sharon would just tell them to go after themselves. So that was the kind of difference between the two of us. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But she did a good job. She did a really good job for Ozzy. I mean, she did.
Well, you're both the pioneers as being women in a man's world, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now, Paul, I got to tell you that, you know, I'm in my little world here. I'm known as a rock and roll dude with all the stuff that I do. I don't just wear goofy jackets, but I love the rock and roll stuff. But I gotta say,
right.
Hey, wait, but Ron used to wear T-shirts, and then Vinny got him out of that habit quick.
I love the
Big time, too
jacket.
much.
You know, I got a
Thank
jacket similar, but it's beautiful. What can I say, Ron?
Thank
It's
you. Well,
awesome.
there is a couch somewhere missing its upholstery. I can tell you that right now.
I love it.
But you know, little known fact that there's some songs that I really, really love from a, I don't know, classic standpoint that's not necessarily a rock and roll song. And one of my favorite songs, Judy Garland actually did as well. A few of those people, 60s, 70s, did Send in the Clowns. And a beautiful rendition. It was, you know, Carol Burnett did it. I mean, that's such a, but then I see a video of you doing it. Love your rendition. What made you pick that song?
Well, it's an interesting story because Vinnie Paul played
Paul,
drums.
we only have 15 minutes, Paul.
Okay,
Come on, it's a good story.
I'll make it quick. So anyways, Vinnie Paul comes to me and he says, you know, Carrot Top wants, you know, his assistant wants to do, you know, a song for him. And he played me this Judy Collins song. And he says, what are we going to do with this? And I says, well, I know this guitar player, Ira Black. And so I got a hold of Ira Black and he came up with the arrangement. So we started out the front like the traditional Sinatra, you know, with the, you know, the orchestra, and then we go into the heavy metal version of it. So we actually recorded that about 12 years ago when Vinnie Paul Abbott was still alive. And we actually did it for Carrot Top. And he wanted to do something like what Sam Kinison did with, you know, Wild Thing. So anyways, we tracked it back then, and then we decided to do a video of it. And Marco Mendoza came in and played bass on it. And I just released it back in 2020 when COVID hit, April 24th, on a Shortino Make-A-Wish record. And this guy named Gary Arona did the filming of it. And some of the people that did the lighting are a lot of people that do cirque shows. Because I was in a show here for 7 years called Raiding the Rock Vault, which was a lot of different rock and roll guys doing the classic rock songs of the 60s, 70s, and into the 80s. And that version is pretty trippy. It's our own version. Some people like it, some people don't, you know.
No, that's a great version, audio-wise, but also visual. I like the video. I mean, Carrot Top is a big friend of the show here, big friend of Carmine's for sure. And
I met Carrot Top through Paul.
Oh, no kidding.
And Paul, we just got Ron in to see Carrot Top 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was in Vegas last week and I saw Carrot, and afterwards we hung out, and I got actually, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to have to send it to you, Carmine. Carrot Top and myself made a video about announcing him on the show. So whenever we're ready to put him on the show, I got a video of us talking about next week kind of thing. I got to show.
Well, you know, when we first recorded that, he would come down. There would be a bucket that would come down in the middle of the show, and he would take out a thing of Crown Royal, and then pass out shots.
Yep.
So he would bring that when the bridge part of, you know, of Send in the Clowns. That part would come down, he would bring that down. He actually had it in the show for quite a while. Vinnie Paul Abbott had saw his show probably 250 sometimes. He had he actually had a Carrot Top room at his house,
right?
And he loved Carrot Top. In fact, there's a real quick story about him, Carrot Top, talking to Oprah Winfrey, and this 18-wheeler shows up with a sauna. And he goes, "Are you Scott Thompson?" Because that's Carrot Top's real name. And he goes, "Yeah." He's talking to Oprah, and he goes, "Well, we have a sauna here for you." He goes, "I didn't order a sauna." He goes, "Oh, well, this is your sauna." He goes, "No, I didn't order a sauna." He says, "Do you know a Vinnie Paul Abbott?" He goes, "Yes, I do know Vinnie Paul Abbott." He says, "Well, this is your birthday gift from Vinnie Paul Abbott." And he goes, "It's great to know rock stars because they give great gifts." And that was a great little story about Vinny giving him a gift. Vinny was a good guy. He was a really cool dude.
Most Vinnies are. They really, really
yes.
are.
That's right. Don't forget it.
Vinny Apathy.
We do this every week, guys. Hanging and Banging, Artists on Lockdown every Thursday, and every week we got great guests like tonight. Next week we got a couple more. Let's go to we got a commercial, I think. Oh, who did this? Carmine, did you do this one, or did Vinny do this one?
I think I did this one.
I did this one.
Vinny did this one.
All right, let's see what we got coming up next week.
Coming to PCA for Hangin' Bangin'. September 9th, we have some friends. Waddy Wattell. I know Waddy, guitar player who played with Stevie Nicks and other people. He's been around for a long time. I know him since the days in 1966 when we were the Pigeons, and he was in a group called the Offings, I believe. And I know him a long time. A great player, great sideman, has played with a lot of people. Also, Danny Korchmeyer, who Danny played with a lot of people too, but he's written songs with Henley, Don Henley, that is, and lots of people. So, two great session guys on Hangin' and Bangin', September the 9th. All right, that's 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, and 4 o'clock where Vinny is on Hangin' and Bangin', Artists on Lockdown on Facebook. Carmine and Peace Official on Facebook. See you there, okay? Ciao.
Look how freaking dapper you are there, my friend.
Yeah.
The hair is working, the glasses are working.
I got to tell Wendy something. Paul sings with King Cobra with me, as you know, because we did that song Monsters and Heroes that we used for this theme. So we went to Sweden Rock Festival play, and we decided Paul was going to do a cappella vocal of Heaven and Hell, right? Just him and the audience, right? And then, so we did that, and then we went right into Monsters and Heroes. So that whole little area was all about Ronnie,
Oh.
And we had like 8,000 people singing Heaven and Hell, and 8,000 people singing Monsters and Heroes.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
Oh,
That's a great shot of you, too.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Wow. Look at that long flowing hair.
Yeah.
I mean, you do it too, Wendy, but that long flowing hair.
Yeah. I remember that.
That's a great shot.
What
Anyway,
happened?
so that was and we just released it as a live album. And
great.
Paul did such a great job on it. I get chills when I listen to it,
Oh, yeah. The picture of Ronnie playing his trumpet. I still have that trumpet.
That's
Really?
Wow.
I
Oh,
do.
you do? Wow.
I do, yeah.
That's one thing we also had in common. I played the trumpet as well, so it's good for the diaphragm.
I took that picture.
Really?
It's a great shot.
You know what? There's got to be. What would you say, Wendy? I see that trumpet. You say you've got that trumpet. What would be your most? We've asked this before on the show. If God forbid the house was on fire, you had to run out, you had to grab your most precious bit of memorabilia of Ronnie. What would that be?
There's the book.
God. Oh, let's see.
That's a tough question.
God, that's a tough question. There's a lot of stuff here, Probably actually one of his guitars. He has his Sunburst guitar.
In your house,
did you ever think about doing? Did you ever think about doing like a traveling exhibit or anything?
Well, I did a big auction with a lot of stuff that was been there forever, all the stage sets and everything that's gone. But I've been working with Michael McLeary from Rainbow and Todd Singerman, who's manager at Motorhead, and the mayor of West Hollywood, Lindsay Howarth. And we got it passed already. We worked for 2 years. We're now going to get a Walk of Fame, just like they have at Gorman's, but it'll be gold records instead of stars, and it'll go from Tower Records up to Doheny on both sides. And what we're trying to do also is get one of the big developers that are putting up a hotel to put a museum in there, and that's what I would put the stuff in there. I would loan it on a museum. Yeah.
Well, my vote, if it has any weight, is a traveling exhibit.
Traveling, yeah.
By places like mine who
You've got
have
away.
just fans that love and adore Ronnie James Dio and everything about him.
That's great. And not only Ronnie, I mean, like we said, with
everybody,
Motorhead,
yeah.
I would put my Vanilla Fudge drum set in there, but unfortunately, Vinny ruined it, so I can't do that.
He's such a little brother.
Is that when him and Angelo took over your place while you were out on tour?
Yes. We
this was before that.
We already told that story. But that's a good idea.
Yes, it is a very good idea.
I think Metallica did that actually. I think I saw that in where was it? Detroit once. They had a traveling museum.
I would love to be a part of that. I would.
Ron, you should do that. You're the promoter.
I would financially be a part of it. I think it's just amazing stuff that people. You know what? I'm an Italian American, and I'm also president of the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame. It's a museum, so I'm very understood. I understand very much about curatorial sciences and that kind of thing. And people just love this stuff. They connect to it. And if you got the trumpet and guitars and clothing and other things, I'm telling you, people just need, especially they get to be our age, we're getting
what about the outfits?
Hey, watch our age. Come on.
Yeah. Let me tell you a story as you're a sports fanatic, okay? As Ronnie was, big sports fanatic. He had this big, humongous, ripped up shirt with somebody, because I'm not into sports, and obviously I'm English, so I don't know much about American sports. This was a while back, and he had this thing in it. It said Wayne Gretzky on it. I was like, what the thing is this? And I threw it out. It was too big for him, and it was torn and tattered, so I just threw it in the trash.
So you had a Wayne Gretzky jersey autographed.
He was really,
and you threw it out because you thought it was just a jersey that was too big for him.
Well, I was going through this stuff. Well, what the hell is this?
I saw his last game at the LA Coliseum. Oh my God!
One thing I did see too, Wendy, and I don't know your feelings on this. I haven't heard your feelings on this, but the hologram, I thought it was really good. I thought it was amazing to see. When and I'm sure you went through this whole process and this thing with the hologram, but without getting too deep into it, I'd like to know when you first saw it, was it chilling? Was it heartwarming? Was it a moment?
When I first saw it, I cried. Then I got used to it because it wasn't Ronnie. And then we took it out. The first one was not that good. The second one was a lot better. But I've decided that I don't want to do it anymore. I've decided I want real Ronnie. So we're working on the stage set with the Dio band, which we're going out in March. And so it will have, instead of having the hologram, it will have film of Ronnie. And with the live band playing and with special effects and everything else. So that's what we're working on. I've been working on it with Paul Dexter and a bunch of other people. And also the Eye Illusion people who did do the hologram are doing a bunch of special effects for us with it. So I've decided to, I never say never, but, technology gets different every day. And I just decided that I wanted to see real Ronnie.
Yeah, it was pretty trippy when I saw it. I saw it on YouTube, and it was. I think I saw the first one, and it was pretty. It was pretty spectacular, actually. It blew my mind.
Amazing. It's pretty amazing what you can do technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good thing. That's amazing.
I think you're right about the footage. That's kind of what Cher does. I saw Cher, and she had Sonny, and they did "I Got You, Babe" together, and just with a screen, showing him on the screen and singing. Yeah, I think that
Queen does it as well.
Yeah, I was going to say Queen does it.
Yeah. Ours will be a little bit different to that because we have all these great effects that are like 3D effects. It's almost like going into like what's that ride at Disneyland where you go through and it's like a 3D effect. That's what we're working on right now. So,
you're talking about the haunted house where they go through and you see the hologram.
No. I'm talking about, what is that? It's a cartoon guy, and you sit there and you go, and it's like he takes you like as if you're on a roller coaster. That's what we're working on.
Oh
This
yeah,
thing
yeah,
that-
like the Star Wars, what was it, Star
Is it
Wars?
Yeah, you go through it's like a
Yeah.
3D thing. It feels like you're
Yeah,
moving, but you're not.
I know what you mean. I know what you
That
mean.
was Jimmy Bain's house.
God rest his soul.
Oh, we missed him.
Yeah.
We all missed
Yeah.
him.
What you guys, let me throw this out there to all of you.
What?
You know, obviously Ronnie's been gone a while now. What do you think now in 2021? What would he be working on right now? What do you think? Would he be getting involved in maybe films?
Yeah, I think he'd be still performing, still writing songs, and I think he would go into producing. He really wanted to produce young bands.
Yeah.
I think he would do
Which
that.
gives me a question. When
Yeah.
Ronnie produced you, Paul, and you got in the vocal booth and you're singing, and Ronnie's on the other side, what did that feel like?
Intimidating as hell.
Sure.
You know, but what was
you
really
have a great voice, Paul.
Yeah, well, what was really-
Ronnie knew that too.
Oh, he brought some of the best stuff out on me. I mean, we did some stuff at Sound City, what we used to call Sound Shitty, but
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
But we also did some stuff at my folks' studio with Ronnie, and yeah, there's some stuff. There's some stuff that was never released from Rough Cut that actually Ronnie we did at Sound City, and Craig Goldie actually played guitar on it, and I can't think of the songs right now, but it was amazing too.
Yeah,
I bet you do.
I have it in the vault.
You have everything.
I do.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll
I'm
be
trying
on
to
the
think of
traveling
the song,
exhibit shortly.
But recently, we just released a rough cut with just me, Amir, and Matt Thorne with Carlos Cavazzo as a guest on it. And it was a small label, but the other two guys decided, David and Chris Hager, to start their own rough cut. So I guess we was just kind of, the guys called me up and said, hey, we worked on this stuff in 2017. Do you like your vocal parts? Do you want to do anything? There's a small label that wants to release this. And Amir had been an orgy, and they kind of erased anybody that was an orgy. So it was kind of a thing just to let the fans, they were being a little deceiving to the people out there. And it seems like everybody keeps coming back going, my voice was rough cut. And so we got a lot of fans coming back on there that are really happy with the record that we put out, which was it's called Rough Cut 3, and it's a trip. It's just the three of us, and Carlos decided to jump on it, and I'm trying to get Carlos to jump in on the King Cobra. I'm calling him actually after we get done here, and because we've got a lot of the material written.
Yeah,
that's great. That you're
going to be a good
on the
record.
road.
Actually, yeah.
Absolutely. And Wendy, you're working on the Dio band.
I am, because we have as I said, we have the re-releases coming out in March, so we're going to tour in March, and I'm excited about it. We got Craig Goldie, Simon Wright, Bjorn Englund, Oni Logan, and looking for another singer because Ripper Owens was there, and he's gone with KK now. KK's Judas Priest. So we're just doing that. We're looking at stuff and going through things with that.
On behalf of all the fans, thank you for keeping his memory and his music alive.
All the time. That's my job in life. Mm-hmm.
And still coming up with new ways, and even making sure that everything is at the level that Ronnie would want it to be from a production standpoint, quality product.
Yeah.
Well, bless you, Wendy, for keeping it alive, and frickin', I'm so grateful just to even know both of the brothers here, and because they're like my brothers, anyways. I love them both.
We're all family. We're all family.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, we fired you as the other brother.
Yeah. Hey, I'll never forget. He does
that to me every week. It's okay.
I'll never forget that we booked Vinny a room at this place around the corner.
Place. Excuse my language.
And it's
the Artesian Hotel.
The Artesian Hotel, right? and Carmine's staying at my house, right? And we're actually working on either it's the King Cobra record or it was the Vargas with I think it was King Cobra. It was King Cobra, wasn't it?
Well, why was Vinny there then?
No,
well, Vinny was doing a
gig.
show. Vinny had a gig.
Oh, okay.
Vinny had a gig. So, anyways, I got an extra room with a blow-up bed in it in the studio, and Carmine's in the guest bedroom, and so Vinny calls, and this place oozes of sex because that was what's Carmine's. That's what his reaction was. So I pull over there in the Cadillac.
Oh, I remember that place.
Yes, right? Yes. So I pull over there in the Cadillac, and he goes, "You wait here. I'm going to go get Vinny because there's music going on."
No. We were at your house. It was 3 a.m, 3:30, and then you guys dropped me off at this hotel.
Right.
And it was nice. Had water all over. I'm like, okay, it's 3:30 in the morning. Get some sleep. And then at 4:30, the after-hours party started in the hotel, which was so loud. So boom,
and it
boom,
was
boom, boom.
Gay. I mean, it oozed of sex
God.
because Carmine comes out and he goes, "I'll be right out. I'm going to go get Vinny. This place oozes of sex." And so I'm parking right by the front door so they can come in and get his luggage in the car. And I'm watching what's going in there. There's, just anything you can think of, it's going into this place. And so we went back and picked Vinny up and brought him back here to the house. But
That's the
I'll
only
never
hotel.
forget that.
It's got a big sign on the side. I was just in Vegas, right? And for $8,500, you could rent out the whole
that
hotel.
place.
That
That place. It's off the strip. So the next
It's right off of Sahara, right as you get off.
Right by the highway.
I can tell you, when we get to the point in the show, we start using words like oozing, I think we've come to the end. So I want to thank Wendy. I want to thank Paul. And
Hey, Ron, you got any tissues?
Oh, please. I do have a sock you could use. Anyway, thank you so much. I think our new theme song will be Send in the Clowns. I think that's appropriate. Anyway, Paul Shortino, God bless you. Thank you. Wendy, what can we all say on behalf of everybody, all the Dio fans, all the rock and roll fans? We love you and thank you for what you're doing. And Drum Monster, Carmine, what can I say? I was telling Vinny earlier, Carm, we had this little week off kind of a thing with the recorded thing. I honest to God missed you guys. I don't like these weeks off. We don't do that. So next week we'll be live. We got a great show.
Look, no matter what Vinny says, I missed you too.
Hey, Carmine, there's your computer.
I thought you sent it out.
Hey,
I thought you sent it out. Come on, man.
No. The Cubase didn't work yet.
Every week,
Benny,
guys, I got to get between these brothers. I got to stay.
I need to call you about my PC. I've got Mac on the Pro Tools, but I got this PC that I need to talk to you about.
Yeah, me too.
All right, guys. Every week we are here, Artists on Lockdown, Hangin' Bangin', Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, with my brothers, Carmine Apiece, Vinny Appice. We love you so much for supporting us. Make sure you hit like, you hit share, tell everybody you know about this show. Our followers are growing every week. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're all over the place. Artists on Lockdown, Hangin' Bangin'. We will see you next week. I'm Ron Onesti. Thanks for joining, guys.